guys, welcome to W and L review. So before we get started, we would like to remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. The more like, comments, and subscribes that you give to us, the more likely we will not get lost in the abyss that is YouTube, and it will help us out as well. And now, dun, 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 with that being said, we will start with our first movie. Thunder Force.
Thunder Force. So, it is absolutely hilarious. So, it follows these two friends. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. They were friends in elementary, middle school, and all. And one of these friends, she lost her parents due to what they call a, I can't remember what they're called right now. An evil dude. They had a better name for it, but they were evil, and because of this, asteroid that came to Earth, and people who had the predisposition, genetically, of being sociopaths, were given, these powers, basically. And, miscreants. Yes, miscreants. That's what they're called. They destroyed the, I believe it was train that this girl's parents were on, and so they passed away. And so from then on, she decided to take up her parents' work she decided that she wanted to also be a geneticist. That way everyone, theoretically, or anyone who wanted to, theoretically, who was normal, could have superpowers as well, as a way of better fighting off the miscreants. And so what happened was her and her friend ended up separating. They weren't friends anymore for a long time because they grew up and their lives grew apart. And so one of the girls, I can't remember her name, but the other one, who wasn't the geneticist, works in construction, and one of their high school reunions was coming up. And so she decided that she was going to invite her other friend. And so she goes to her lab because she finds out she's the number one geneticist in the city, and she has this huge corporation. She goes there, and mind you, she's a little toasty. Well, she was. And she goes up to the front desk, and she asks, "Hey, can I see my said friend's name?" And the woman's like, "Do you have an appointment?" She said, "No, I'm her best friend."
She was kind of estranged.
Yeah. And so the woman's like, "Okay," and so she continues to explain it, and so she's like, "Well, give her a call on
tell
your
her
phone.
so-and-so's here."
Yeah, tell her that I'm here." And so the woman calls, and all goes, and to the receptionist's surprise, that the woman did want to see her friend. She's like, "Well, I guess you can go on up." And so as the story goes on, this one friend, who is kind of a mess up, ends up accidentally being injected with the first dose of this medicine to turn her into a superhero with super strength. And she was not happy. And as it goes, she was like, "Oh, well, I can just stop, right?" And the woman's like, "No, the way this works is it increases your heart pumping and strength by times 10. So if you stop taking the dose, your veins will explode." So she has no options. So then she has to start this regimen of getting up at 5 a.m., which was not what she was used to, and working out. And as it goes on, she ends up also finding out that she has to eat raw chicken. But then it becomes her best thing, and there's this running joke throughout the whole thing about how disgusting it is whenever she eats said raw chicken. But as the story goes on, the geneticist woman ends up also starting to take her medicine so that she can turn invisible, and that's going to be her superpower. After many months of this regimen, then they're finally they're done with their treatments and they're finally superheroes, officially. And so they go out to fight crime, but things go a little south. And it's so funny. There's so many funny bits. They end up in the end being able to win, essentially. But I don't want to give away too much more. But I just had to tell you guys about those funny bits, the really funny bits at the beginning. But I, if you couldn't tell, loved the movie. I'll have to watch it again sometime soon because it is just great.
It is a silly movie.
There's so many bits that I just absolutely love. And with that being said, I'll let my mom tell you her opinion.
Thunder Force is hands down a silly take on a superhero movie. It stars Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy, and they are just spot on with each other. It's just the chemistry is perfect, and Jason Bateman also plays in the movie, and if you've ever seen Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium, then you'll know that this is really funny because he plays a mutant in this movie. Which is what he was called in that movie. So, I mean, that was kind of a ha-ha for us. But anyway, it is really a silly movie. There is a little bit of slapstick. It is just, I think it's rated PG-13, I believe. And it is on Netflix. And it is got a little bit of language, not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
Something that I think you could watch with teenagers. Yeah, you could probably watch it with younger kids too, because it's got superheroes, and I love the fact that these are superheroes, but they're not just superheroes, they're women, and so that's really nice for that empowerment thing, and it's really nice to see, and it was silly. The movie is just silly, and you will laugh. I mean, I have kind of had this movie set aside for a while and been wanting to watch it, wanting to find the right time to watch it, and we finally watched it. It is definitely one that you want to watch. You don't want to miss it. I don't remember ever hearing a lot of or any commercials about it, or trailers or anything like that. And I don't know why. It is a very good movie to me. I think. I would definitely recommend it. I would say that you could watch it with anybody, yourself if you want, or your kids or grandkids, or or if you have littles at home, you can feel safe watching this. It's not got anything bad in it. I did say it does have a little bit of language, but I think that would be overshadowed with all the action that's in the movie. With that, we will go to our next movie, Yours, Mine, and Ours.
So, Yours, Mine, and Ours, the one that we're talking about, is a more recent remake of the film. I can't remember when this remake was put out, but it's a remake. So it follows this family. It starts off with two families. This one woman who doesn't have a husband, she has, I believe, 10 kids.
10 kids.
And this sergeant, who does not have a wife, and he has 8 kids. And by hook and crook, yet again at another high school reunion, they had dated in high school, and they fall in love again, and decide rather abruptly, hey, let's get married, without telling the kids. So this all happened within the course of a day, pretty much. And then they come home from this reunion, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, kids, I'm married now. And the kids are going, wait a minute. And so then there's this family with 20 total people, and these 2 adults with 18 kids. And so it follows that these 2 families are very conflicting with each other. The kids don't really get along. And so they're constantly, trying to get the parents to break up. And they finally come up with this master plan to throw this huge party to get their parents to break up. But after all this time that they've been working together to try and break up their newly found mom and dads, they realize after the deed was done and their parents were going to divorce that, hey, I actually like my siblings now. And so then they had to work to get them back together again and reconcile with each other. And in the end, it all ends up fine and they're back together, and it was really sweet the way it happened. I don't want to give away the ending and how sweet it is because you guys should watch this because it's a very cute family movie that everyone can enjoy, young and old. So, I know there was so many parts in which I was laughing because of the shenanigans that were going on. So, if you guys haven't seen it, I think you should give it a shot. With that being said, I'll let my mom tell you her opinion.
Yours, Mine, and Ours is a very cute movie, and it has Dennis Quaid in the movie, and Renee Russo, and they are the husband and wife to be. They end up together, and it is got a lot of slapstick silliness and just a lot of over the top shenanigans, but I mean, you would expect that with a house full of 18 children. It is a remake. I can't remember who was in the original, but I remember watching the original too. And it was, I don't remember if the original was named the exact same name. Might have been. I can't remember that. But this is a really cute movie, and it is similar to, if you have ever seen Cheaper by the Dozen. It has a lot of that same kind of feeling to it, except that they're not competing with another family. They're competing with themselves. It is one that I would say that you can watch with the whole family. It is very family oriented. It's very fun and very enjoyable. There's no naughty bits or bad language or anything like that. Anything that you need to worry about with little ones. And I think that teenagers may not like it at first. They may be like, oh, Gene. But once they sit down and actually watch the movie, I think they will really enjoy it. It does have a lot of silliness, and I think that once they get past the initial begrudging or attitude of, oh, I have to sit down and watch this movie, once they get past that, they'll, and it won't take very long because that slapstick kind of silliness begins pretty much right from the beginning. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to give too much of the plot away. It is definitely one to take a look at, and I think, if memory serves me, this is also on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not for certain. But if you can find it anywhere, it's one that you can find it. It is an older movie, so it may be a little bit harder to find. But with that, we will say thank you for watching our channel. And what else would we like to say? Anything? Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching our channel, and we will see you next week. Bye!
Bye.